Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashad Deshatharine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Bhagavad Gita also this word comes, Satatam Kirtayanto, always here. Somebody may say, then I will not do anything. We have to properly understand. We cannot imitate Haridas Thakur. It all has to be taken in the spirit that among the different angas of devotions of it, this is most important, but others are not unimportant. They are also important. And neither it is possible. And Satatam Kirtayanto means Prabhupada immediately when he gives a lecture, Satatam Kirtayanto means always be engaged. Actually, meditation on Krishna is not only done by hearing, it is done by all the senses. Yeah, when you are chanting Hare Krishna, from the tongue we are meditating. And the ear also. Just like when you are going to a temple, again the meditation is going on, I have to go there. You are walking toward, legs can also be used for meditation on Krishna. People think meditation on Krishna is only possible through chanting. No, all the senses can be engaged. When you are smelling the flower, that time also you are meditating on Krishna. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vendayo. Mind, that is the highest. The mind you can fix on the Lord. But other things all add up, and they also actually help in the meditation. Vacham se Vaikunta, you are talking about, how can you talk when you are not focused on the topic? So you are meditating. Then? With the hand, when you are cleaning the table, again the meditation. By the hand you are meditating on Krishna. That is what is it. Got it? Principle is meditation on Krishna. Karor, Shruti, you are hearing about Krishna. Yes, again that is a meditation. So all these things, you are embracing devotees, you are smelling tulsi, you are drinking water, all the features are meditation on Krishna. Hand, leg, eyes, everything. So therefore sometimes what happens, people take one meaning out. It's not practical. You have to understand properly things. Now we have to see everything in its context. But yes, there is nothing compared. And we have, what a fortune we have. I was telling them yesterday that how much fortunate you will be if you can hear from a person who is seeing the thing as it is. Tattvadashi. How much fortunate it is. Therefore Prabhupada says, after they get millions and thousands of Nobel Prizes, they will come where we begin. How is it that we are in this fortunate position? After 1,000 Nobel Prizes? Yes. Because we heard. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Go. You go. Why there is so much respect? Because seeing the world as he is. We are just repeating. Therefore we say, Acharya, what is the position of an Acharya? We don't know. Nowhere less than Narada. Same position there. Acharyas are the same platform. Therefore Prabhupada says, Acharyas are like Narada. Prabhupada says, they are exactly in the same platform. That is an Acharya. Other is monitor, assistant, nurse, just like doctor is doctor. Correct? But nurse or what cannot play the role of a doctor. Whatever doctor says, they execute. You have taken medicine, nurse will come and see, medicine is taken or not. So chanted Hare Krishna. You read Prabhupada's books. Correct? We are like that. Yes, so we should know our humble position. And then we can do rule. Because nobody likes something artificial or something superfluous. Nobody likes, correct? Hypocrisy nobody likes. First thing we need is truthfulness. So we should be very truthful where we are situated, correct? We should not artificially say, I can see things as they are. It's not possible. Somebody was yesterday asking, no, I'm not, been so many years, 10 years, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, but I'm not able to see Krishna. He was chatting with me on the net. I said, first deserve, then desire. Prabhupada said, first deserve, then first you deserve. What you're talking? It's so cheap to see Krishna. You do, execute the order. And then, when the Guru is pleased, when Srila Prabhupada is pleased, definitely you can see Krishna face to face. But there is no rule. Just like, suppose you keep somebody as a driver for your car. And you say, after 2 months I'll tell you whether I'll go to give you the job. 2 months I'll watch you. If I don't like, I'll get another person. I'll watch you. Give you a few days we give chance, let me watch your work, what kind of person you are. So similarly, and after 2 months, he cannot say, I came at 6 o'clock morning, you should be satisfied. There is no rule. I don't like, get out. Even though you came morning 6 o'clock and you went night 11 o'clock, but I may not like. It's my business whether I appoint you or not appoint you. So correct. You may do whatever. You may very nicely do homework. Teacher say, I don't like. You cannot say rule. See, such a nice handwriting is there. You have to like. No, there is no have to like. Correct? Suppose they make some nice dish at home. You say, how is it? Do you like it? No, I don't like. Huh? Why you don't like? You have to like. There is no have to like. Correct? Similarly, Acharya, there is no rule that he will be happy. You can't make a rule. Therefore, Prabhupada says, Acharya, even without your not following regulated principles, can send you back to Godhead if he wants. If he wants. Nothing stops him. He can be pleased. True, it's not that we come on that platform, but we should know the prerogative of the Acharya is completely, we offer the best. There is a very nice thing. Chanakya says this principle, that exact shloka I am forgetting. He says, if you can take shelter of the higher principle, then why take shelter of the lower principle? Correct? Just like, if you can worship Vishnu, why worship the Devatas? Why worship the Devata? Because higher principle. Then Vishnu Narayana is saying, if you can worship Krishna, what is the use of worshipping Narayana? Better go for Krishna worship. And if you can worship Krishna in Vrindavan, what is the use of worshipping Krishna in Mathura? Go to higher principle. And in Vrindavan, if you can worship Krishna in Mathura, so what is the use of worshipping any lower? So we can go higher. Why take lower? Got it? So in the same way, we have to offer the best. The best for the pleasure of Krishna. Our offering should be the best. Why lower? In fact, therefore, Bhagavad Gita, when the purport, Krishna says, "Sarvadharmān-parityajya mam ekam." Prabhupada says in the purport, mam ekam means not even Narayana, only Krishna. Mam ekam, the Acharya say the meaning is only me, Vrindavan Krishna. Not Vaikuntha anything, come to me. That's why Krishna came personally. Why Krishna came personally? Why Krishna took avatar? To show Vaikuntha has been talked about all the incarnations. But Goloka only Krishna reveals. Got it, no? The very, Krishna says, no, there is the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are internal, external reason for Krishna's appearance. External reason was dharma samsapana, which is stored in Gita also. And internal reason is, he wanted to show the relationship to him without any awe and reverence. That is what Krishna wanted to show. He wanted to make it available to us, everybody, that relationship, and which is very unique. No other incarnation show that. But then Krishna put a condition. You surrender. Sarvadharmāna-parityajya, then mamekam. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it more easier. He gave an example how to surrender. Here order came. Just like sometimes what happens, somebody gives an order. You do. You make all these things. I don't know how to do. But somebody can show, I can do very easy, then I can all easily do. So Krishna says, surrender to me. Now how to surrender? Then Krishna himself gave again an example. Like this is surrender. Just like teacher says, write something. You don't know how to write. Then teacher writes. Then I can understand. Correct? So it is in that way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is therefore called more kind. Mahavadanyaya. He is extremely kind. Very, very merciful. And when the heart is purified, this beautiful condition comes where a person is just drinking. He is drinking the pleasure of hearing about Krishna. Therefore the shloka comes, those who drink through aural reception, fully filled with the nectarean message of Lord Kṛṣṇa, the beloved of the devotees, purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment, and thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Him, the personality of Godhead. It's a very exalted position actually. Very, very exalted position. And this position is just like Vidura. Was, he somehow did not participate in the war because he was insulted by Duryodhana, he had left. But later he came. Therefore, the great sages, they know that if people hear them, they will be blessed. They know that. They know the whole life will lead. That means they are moving around not for belly, like today sadhus go around for belly. They are moving out of compassion, like Shukadeva Goswami. Moving out of compassion, that's all. Jada-bharata, all liberated people. They are moving. And he didn't find anybody candidate for hearing. He was silent whole life. On his own choice, he decided to open his mouth, and Raghuna was there. And immediately Raghuna fell at his feet. What a pleasure. Can I hear? And he heard, the 2-3 chapters in Bhagavatam. He's just hearing. So, it's, Vedavyasa, when an order he got from Narada, then now you compile Bhagavatam. True, he's a disciple, but he's also an extraordinary personality, Vedavyasa. And he sat for meditation, prepared himself, purified. And then now what to write? For Vedavyasa, just imagine. Vedavyasa was empowered. Past, present, future he can see. Which past time now? And I heard something recently which I did not know. The Devaloka of the Bhagavatam is billions of shlokas. Much bigger. Because their capacity is much. This is 1 minute for them. The life is also big. So they have. So anyway, the point is there are billions of instances now. Krishna in this kalpa, this day of Brahma, this instance or that instance or this instance, Correct? He has chosen. Because he himself wrote so many Puranas. There are so many instances, other Puranas which are not in Bhagavatam. Correct? He chose this one, Jada-bharata instance. Yes, I'll have it here. Just like you are giving a class, you think what all to choose. Correct? Then Parikshit Maharaj one, that one. His own son will address him. Correct? Oh, wow. And he organized, collected, and then he said, this book can create revolution in the heart. Anybody hears this glorification of the Lord, they will be revolution created. Actually set a seed for the Krishna conscious movement to explode. He set the seed actually. The real benefit of Bhagavatam was taken after Prabhupada spread it all around the world. Correct? It was benefited in India. People were drinking. No doubt many people are drinking that. All the Vaishnava acharyas are drinking the Bhagavatam. But the real revolution means impious lives. This book will create revolution in the impious lives in Kali Yuga. Actually is foretold. In one sense, if you see, it is predicted, forecasted, and that prediction was fulfilled. Vedavyasa's prediction was fulfilled of Prabhupada. You can see that. Isn't it true? Correct? He himself wrote the first canto of Bhagavatam, kept ready. No resources to print more. Correct? Even recently, one devotee is there. He is in Vrindavan for a very long time. I think his name is Mahanidhi Swami. So he has, researched about Prabhupada's life before Prabhupada went to America. Same routine, same getting up night 1 o'clock, same writing. And he had a privilege there, samadhis were there. He used to go to his guru samadhi. There are 108 samadhis there. Particularly 4 or 5 were very particular. The Goswami samadhis, samadhi of a spiritual master, all these are very particular. They are all there in the temple. Every day he used to go. And then when he finished the Bhagavatam, he got it released. He got some person to come, officially release it. Got people to, had a function. So much. And then Prabhupada, when he came back to Vrindavan, people could not believe the miracle. People could not believe. How is it possible that same sannyasi who was with us, correct, in his room sitting, he used to do madhukari. So he goes to houses and, collect madhukari means, somebody gives rice, somebody invites him for lunch. And but generally he used to cook most of the time in his room itself. He had his own same pressure cooker, 3-1. That kitchen is still there in Radha Damodar temple. Prabhupada used to go. And that was a small veranda. You have seen that between the Prabhupada's room and the kitchen. Within that he used to pace up and down sometimes while chanting, or thinking how to pray. So humble. And in fact, Prabhupada, when he came back to India first time, in 1972, when first time he came back, no, that is even before he came back. He came back when he was not well with Kirtananda. At that time, he stayed in the same place again. That is his room. There was no movement, nothing, no, that time. Just started. And then when Prabhupada did sannyasa, he gave for Kirtananda there, that time. It was a big, all the people came to watch. They're surprised. And when the movement really exploded, by the time Prabhupada came back to India again, 72, people could not believe the miracle. And then the rumor was spreading in India that, these are all CIA people. And they were thinking, maybe, because they can't believe that it can happen on its own. Maybe these people are funding, just like, suppose somebody suddenly become rich. We all get a doubt, no? Something is gadbad. People are thinking something is gadbad. They took them time to understand that this movement is so genuine, and then it got accepted in the public there. And now it is the most beautiful place to visit, So anyway, so this is the principle actually. And the Prabhupada said many times that, you see, Prabhupada was in India. Prabhupada was in the West. Same Acharya, same power. Why is it that for, practically 4 decades, nobody in India could take benefit? Because they did not hear, that's all. You have to just hear. How will he going to impregnate Krishna consciousness into the heart? Is through the ear, not through the eyes, through the ear. Therefore, Prabhupada says, don't go to spiritual master unless you have a submissive ear. Don't go, don't waste his time. Therefore, in India, nobody was submissive. Prabhupada says, the advantage in the West was, they have a renouncing spirit. This was a great advantage. In India, generally people are called grihyamedis. Grihyamedis means settle down. They have this conception, usko settle karna hai, settle. Grihyamedi. Yeah, one TV should be there, one fridge should be there, one car should be there. You settle ho gaya mera beta. But in the West, they have something called renouncing spirit, which have come because of so many reasons. One of the main reason is they are disgusted with sense gratification. Disgusted. Which Prabhupada found it was a great impetus for them to take to Krishna consciousness, Disgusted. Then once you are disgusted, then you can peacefully hear. Because if you are not disgusted, still desire is there, then how can you hear peacefully? Here we say, just hear Krishna's message, so pleasing, drinking nectar. And mind I am desiring, if that car I had one day, how you can hear peacefully? It is very difficult to hear peacefully. Correct? One cannot hear with a pure mind unless these factors are there. So anyway, so this chapter, Shukadeva Goswami, is as a great authority, is clearing. So what happened was that somehow in the West, they heard Prabhupada. That's all. The process works by hearing. Unless somebody hears, just like suppose you want to do some business. But unless the other person hears, how is he going to make sign contract with you? First he has to hear, no? See, we will have a contract, I'll invest this much, you invest this much, then we will go ahead. Yes, then only it can proceed. Otherwise it cannot proceed. So anyway, these are the very important principles. So we have actually a great fortune, a very great fortune, that Prabhupada has created a fortune. In the night he was creating the fortune for the whole world, recording his voice, recording the message which will benefit the whole world. So nowadays sadhus go house to house, but that is to fill belly. Previously they go out of compassion. And people used to take advantage. Because sages were like that. Please come in. We have seen sometimes. We used to distribute books in Bangalore, sometime house to house. Even the volunteers used to go marathon time, house to house distribution. And people sometimes used to really understand that happens when we go train book distribution. Immediately people understand, so nice. People feel so benefited. Immediately people feel so nice. And they say, please come down. And they make you sit down. They want to hear now. Correct? So once they hear, then their life will change. Without hearing, it will not change. But the tradition nowadays is go to temple, matha teka bhago. Then you will not change. And that is what has happened to our so-called Buddhism, which is also known as Hinduism. ठीक है. Now, what I was planning, we will show one video. That was the plan today. Or I can continue the class. A video later. Shishuka vacha evam etam nigatitam prishtavan yad bhavan mama nridanyan mriyamanana manusheshu manishinam. Shishuka vacha. Shukadeva Goswami said, Evam, so, Eta, all this, Nigatitam, answer, Prishtavan, as you inquired, Yat, what? Bhavan, your good self, Mama, unto me, Nidam, of the human being, Yat, one, Mriyamananam, on the threshold of death, Manusheshu, amongst the human being, Manishina, of the intelligent men. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, as you have inquired from me as to the duty of the intelligent man who is on the threshold of death, so I have answered you. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, as you have inquired from me as to the duty of the intelligent man who is on the threshold of death, so I have answered you. In the human society all over the world, there are millions and billions of men and women, and almost all of them are less intelligent because they have very little knowledge of the spirit soul. Almost all of them have wrong conception of life, for they identify themselves with the gross and subtle material bodies, which they are not in fact. They may be situated in the different high and low position in the estimation of the human society, but one should know definitely that unless one inquires about his own self beyond the body and the mind, all his activities in the human life are total failures. Therefore, out of the thousands of men, one may inquire about spirits and thus consult the revealed scriptures like Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad Bhagavatam. But in spite of reading and hearing such scriptures, unless one is in touch with the realized spiritual master, he cannot actually realize the real nature of the self, etc. And out of the thousands of men, someone may know what Lord Kṛṣṇa is in fact. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that Lord Kṛṣṇa, out of his causeless mercy, prepared the Vedic literature in the incarnation of Vyasadeva for reading by the intelligent class of men in the human society, which is almost totally forgotten of the genuine relation of Kṛṣṇa. Even such an intelligent class of men may be forgetful in their relation with the Lord. The whole Bhakti Yoga process is therefore revival of the lost relation. This revival is possible in the human form of life, which is obtained only out of the evolutionary cycle of 84 lakh species of life. The intelligent class of human being must take a serious note of this opportunity. Not all human beings are intelligent, so the importance of human life is not always understood. Thus, Manishina means thoughtful is particularly used here. A Manishina person like Maharaj Parikshit must therefore take to the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa and fully engage himself in devotion service, hearing, chanting, etc. of the holy name and pastimes of the Lord, which are all Hari Kathāmṛtaṁ. This action is specially recommended when one is preparing for death. Now, this is giving a seriousness why we should hear. Okay. This is now very important chapter in which the comes about worshipping different devatas. Now, if you want this, go to this. If you want this, you go to this. And it concludes that akama sarva kamo va. It is best if you are intelligent to go to Kṛṣṇa. So now the purport is coming on a very important point. That is Prabhupada mainly, if you see in his teachings in public, establish the soul. You see, even in the purports and the teaching public, and he is conversing in public, main thing he was focusing about was we are not body, we are the soul, because that is the platform. And once they come and start reading literatures and all, slowly they understand more and more features, because unless somebody understands soul, he cannot understand God. That is next platform. Bhagavad Prabhupada said, mainly in public we teach Bhagavad Gita. The pastimes of the Lord Bhagavatam, we only teach when they start chanting Hare Krishna, they start giving devotion service, correct? Generally. Bhagavad Gita is nothing but introduction to the Bhagavatam. It's just the first step. Now, there is some important point here, is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established Krishna, uniqueness. Otherwise, people did not know. Even Shri Vaishnavas, where you tell them about Krishna being in Golokanatha, even they get bewildered. They think there is one Narayana. And one Shri Vaishnava was telling that when he read Bhagavatam, there are billions of Narayanas coming out of Krishna, he was struck with wonder. So this Krishna consciousness is not easy. Even for Shri Vaishnavas, it is difficult. It is difficult for even other sampradayas to come. It's a very advanced platform. Even for them, it is not so easy to understand this. So then somebody asked him, how did he accept? He said, the point was this, that even in the wildest of the wildest of the wildest of the fantasies, nobody can write this. So it has to be correct. You understand? Generally, if somebody wants to make something, fantasy, he will say some God is there, he creates. Here we are saying billions of Narayanas are coming out of the body of Krishna. It is so, and then when you read Bhagavatam, it is there, it's clear. But in the beginning, when suddenly you read one purport, you was less like astounded. So our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's contribution was what? To focus how actually Krishna is unique among all the personalities of Godhead, supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna is unique. He has a unique position. There are so many personalities, another way you can say, there are so many personalities in Godhead. So many jivas are there. Krishna is Krishna or Narayana, all then become Hari. Actually, that is generally what Prabhupada uses. Sometimes Prabhupada, even for Narayana, Vishnu says Supreme Personality Godhead. In that way then, in Godhead, that is in Vaikuntha, Krishna is the Supreme Personality. How to understand that word? Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If Godhead refers to Vaikuntha, he is the Supreme Personality there. You can take, when Godhead is you can locate it like Vaikuntha. So Krishna is, because Prabhupada says, we are also God. Many times he said, no, you become God if you become sincere. But Krishna becomes the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God-like, you become God-like, you become gods. So in that way, so the unique position of Krishna was brought about by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the contribution of Lord Chaitanya. He pushed forward the unique position of Krishna. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all-knowing personality, came to Adi Keshava temple to pick up Brahma Samhita. Because Brahma Samhita gives 100% support for this thesis. You have to have a scriptural evidence. No, Brahma Samhita is there, written by Brahma. Because this nobody has focused. Madhvacharya also says Hari Purush, Hari Sarvottam. And that many of the Madhvas they feel, no, Hari Narayana is Sarvottam. Correct? Hari refer to Narayana. Then unique position of Krishna is not brought out. That is the contribution of Lord Chaitanya. Not only he supported from Bhagavatam and so many places, he wanted that scripture. Therefore he came. Now sometimes we may say that may be one of the reasons he came for South India tour. Why he came for South India tour? Many reasons. One thing, he delivered whole South India. Whole India got blessed, delivered. But he brought that anyway, his disciple Prabhupada will do later. But he wanted that time to pick up that literature personally. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picks up, that gives the authority also to the literature. Because people will doubt tomorrow. Correct? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picks up, the Lord himself picks up, immediately gets authority. Yes. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally got it noted down. Correct? And Brahma Samhita very clearly, even though what we got is only one chapter from Brahma Samhita. You know that? That's only 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. There are 100 chapters probably. There many scriptures are huge. Either goats have eaten those leaves, or leaves got burnt or lost. You know? But still, what is needed, Krishna protected. Therefore, we cannot complain. Nobody can say now, Arey, what happened? How will I go back to Godhead? The leaves are eaten by a bakari now. We all have to, now Kali Yuga, no. No. Just like when, what happened? When Brahma, Vedas got stolen from Brahma by some demons. Krishna came as Matsya Avatara at that time, and he got there. Anyway, so Krishna saved. I don't know which incarnation it was, but Krishna saved. The Vedas have to be there. You got it? The Vedic knowledge, it have to be there. So similarly, we cannot claim that today, and how I go back to Godhead, the guidance I don't have. Prabhupada said that is atheism, to think like that. That means Krishna will not take care. It is always there. The whole guidance is available. You got it? So what was needed was protected. That one chapter is needed, protected. Correct? All the shlokas, beautiful shlokas of the Brahma Samhita, protected. You see, what was needed is protected. So many Vedas, if you see, the most of it is lost, even the 4 Vedas. Originally, if you take the account, because the scriptures are counter-referencing. What they are doing? Counter-referencing. Even one Purana will talk about other Purana. Just like some fools, Mayavadis, for Mayavadis, Bhagavatam is a big trouble. Even Shankaracharya did not touch it. Because Bhagavatam is like straight glorification of the Lord. So, they what to do? They want to now remove the authority of Bhagavatam. They say Bhagavatam was not written by Vedavyasa, was written by some name also they given. Some name Bhagavatam Prabhupada says. They have published, they are spreading that. It was written much later by one scholar called XYZ. But the trouble is, Bhagavatam is a reference in other places also. Now Vedavyasa, is completing. He was doing his editing, everything at the end after writing Bhagavatam. He has mentioned in other Puranas. Bhagavatam is that scripture in which Vritasura's prayers are there. Now, he is talking about Bhagavatam, even though it's a last literature. He has still inserted in other places. That means editing and all was going on. The point is Bhagavatam is a reference in other Puranas. So now that thing doesn't hold. You got it? So Bhagavatam is of the authority. So Bhagavatam he picked up, he selected Brahma Samhita, he selected Bhagavad Gita, correct? He selected what was needed. And for very advanced devotees, he even Chaitanya Charitamrita, one more, no? Which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself relished. Krishna Karnamrita. When he came to South India, he picked up that also. But that is meant for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Raya and Swarup Damodar and Sikhi Mahiti. That's all. Not everybody. That's very advanced. Prabhupada did not. In fact, Prabhupada says you can, devotees ask Prabhupada, can we translate the Vedic other literatures of the Goswamis? Prabhupada said these ones. First Prabhupada said it's not an academic effort. What you need is there in my books. Then Prabhupada also in detail other places said these you can do. But not you can do Jiva Goswami, Shat Sandarbha, all this, but not other things where they talk about erotic dealings between gopis and Krishna. You people don't touch there also. But he was many times emphasized. What is needed is there. But if somebody is interested, these are the books. But don't go to these books. Because you will make a fool out of yourself. Because it requires realization. It's not Prabhupada said. There in the same conversation where Prabhupada ordered everything. Last May 28th. Same place they asked Prabhupada. So Prabhupada says, see, it's not an academic, scholar translation. It requires realizations to understand these books. It requires realizations. You may misunderstand and then misinterpret and then confuse other people also. Okay, so there was quite focus of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to present Krishna. Correct? To bring out the unique position of Krishna. And that was the main preaching going on. And if you see, when Prabhupada was generally people preaching in public, he revealed everything, definitely to the devotees. But generally preaching in public, Prabhupada is to always focus on, you see people come to Prabhupada, is to focus on spirit separate from matter. That is the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita. But people today have become so dull actually. Even that much is so difficult, you see. I'm not saying, but I'm saying it's like a challenge. It's a challenge actually. Even this much to preach to public is such a challenge. People are so dull. Previously, if somebody cannot understand yasyat bhukti krunapeti dhatuke, if somebody think this body is considered previously in Bhagavatam as the intelligence of an ass. It's considered an animal. If he cannot understand this fact that he is not body, spirit, soul, is considered an animal. And a person having full realization of that is called a Brahmana. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. And Kshatriyas and Vaishyas partial. And Shudra again zero. They were practically like an animal. But at least something, they were obedient to the higher classes, so they were following that point. So anyway, so this is the reality today. And therefore, Prabhupada set up the third institute, BI. And I was just trying to understand, why did Prabhupada set up the third one, BI? He set up, you see, the visionary. I was reading about Prabhupada's finance management. Amazing it is. Amazing. All throughout, Prabhupada was completely in control how the money is flowing. He set up BBT. He said you keep 50% profit. And that became like a bank, because whatever temples sell, that BBT became like a bank. It keeps 50% profit. It was giving as a loan. BBT was giving it as a loan. And from that loan, it used to, many temples came up. Otherwise, 4 years, 100 temples to come up. It requires even financial intelligence, genius. To serve Krishna, it is not like we do buddhu way. You have to do with intelligence, no? He implies all in intelligence. Not that print anywhere you print, like many Swamis will say. Wear anything you wear. No, everything perfectly. For any service to Krishna, you have to put your intelligence how to do it properly, correct? You are cooking for something, cook something. That's what many people do. Many temples it is, something, No, you are so elaborate in every seva. So then what happened, it became like a bank, because people are taking loan. That's what the bank does. Put back money. So how the bank capital increases, books are selling continuously. So capital of the bank, the BBT became like a bank of ISKCON. On whole ISKCON used to take money from it. Loan and repay it. And sometimes some projects, particularly in India, Prabhupada said it is like your Guru Dakshina. They used to say they should pay, but it was like that only, because there was no comparison. India, there is no comparison. It's a very fabulously rich, and the movement was being, rather pushed here. Manpower came from America, money came from America. That's how Krishna consciousness started in India. It's like a dhakka you have to do, so much dhakka. Prabhupada, I told you how he went to Indira Gandhi to get 500 visas. You know that? Prabhupada went to Indira Gandhi and he requested her, give me 500 visas for my men. Otherwise preaching will not happen in this country. Nobody is coming forward. So she gave, at least that was nice of her. So now, among all the things going on, it used to come to, initially Prabhupada used to decide, and then finally he left it to GBC to decide every year. Whatever proposal come, you sit and decide. In the beginning, Prabhupada was personally involved. Later he said, any proposal, let it go for the yearly meeting. And let the GBC sit and decide, yes, okay, this project we can give money. BBT will always have money. And then, among all those things going on together, Prabhupada had to push money for Bombay. In fact, he pushed. They collected in New York for a temple in New York. And Prabhupada urgently wanted the Bombay temple. So he took money from that and he purchased the land in Juhu, urgently needed there. And the temple was built. So in New York, what happened, then finally Prabhupada made an arrangement that he got the money also through the BBT. In between, sometimes some devotee was asking. There was one rich disciple who had donated. Actually donated for New York temple. So Prabhupada took money for Bombay. So he said, Prabhupada, but we needed money for... See, what kind of disciple are you? After giving dakshina to Guru, you are asking it back. He used to... But his relation was so sweet, he used to manage everything. But what was surprising was sudden shock. When Prabhupada departed from the world, he always, devotees used to, throughout his life, give him some money. Guru Dakshina, Prabhupada is going one envelope, some money. They used to, and Prabhupada used to put in his one collect. You know how much it was? $1 million. Through all making his movement alone, he was saving money for something. It was not just save. Then money, Prabhupada made an FD for protecting Vrindavan and Mayapur temple in India. Mayapur Vrindavan Trust, MVT Trust, to this day it is there. He said these two temples, I don't know how they'll manage them, sir, because there is no donation there. Vrindavan, who will give a donation? All Babajis. Everybody has a temple at home. Actually, they struggled. Prabhupada personally was in Vrindavan, and they were not having money to even put a garland. When every time Prabhupada comes to morning class, he stayed in Vrindavan after establishing Vrindavan temple opened proper time. Prabhupada could see that financial problem. He was seeing they're struggling. Or imagine, Prabhupada used to many times say, these boys and girls are used to luxuries. He's giving class in India. You cannot even imagine. He's telling to India, you cannot even imagine what kind of luxurious life they were living in America. You can't even imagine. If you know that, see, he was appreciating their sacrifice. If you know that, then you can know what struggle they are doing now psychologically for serving Krishna. Correct? Suppose somebody is used to a very opulent condition and suddenly you put him in a condition, there is no money to buy a garland for the Acharya. They was completely bankrupt. Temple was made, but completely bankrupt. That was the condition. And the Prabhupada already knew it. And he had his, plan ready. And nobody knew this, that he had this much money with him. Because it is, and he was so organized. He used to always have a purse with him. One bag in which his specs will be there, his some medicine will be there or something. He used to have always Ayurvedic medicine, whatever. His bag used to be there once. Bag, famous bag it used to be, Prabhupada's white bag. And in that the key will be there. If suppose he's in a temple, for the drawer. In the drawer the key is there for the almirah. In the almirah there is one more key which is there. And in the drawer where he's sitting, there is a neat ledger about everything that is there in almirah. He was extremely well organized. Sometimes people say manager. The devotees who are with him, like Tamal Krishna and all, they say we cannot imagine a manager like Prabhupada. And every paper, Prabhupada said, has to be preserved for 8 years. A pakka system, which is needed actually, accounting system. He was so pakka in his work because you have to learn. To serve Krishna is not like, everything is dirty, everything is unorganized. No, he was so well organized actually, so well organized. So suddenly devotees, Prabhupada gave them a shock. He said, this $1 million I have saved for the Vrindavan Mayapur temple. Put it in a FD. So the other way you people will finish it tomorrow. Make an FD with the interest. These two temples can be protected. So imagine that kind of planning. It's not just, he was whole night writing, speaking Bhagavatam. His full consciousness was in how. And in fact, therefore, each devotee was so caring. They could see that he is thinking about them. Just like a father is very worried about the child. Sometimes parents say, he is not doing that, he should have done that. So much in consciousness for every disciple who has taken responsibility. Means he is responsible. He has taken responsibility. 1,000 disciples have taken shelter, but is actually responsible about them. Constant. They could feel that, how much he is thinking about them. When they meet them, they could feel. It's not that so many disciples are there, let them go to hell. Sometimes that happens, that also happens. Let me use them and then let them go to hell. No. So much conscious about the responsibility he has taken. So now, actually, the situation that has come, I was just thinking, Prabhupada created ISKCON. We can understand that purpose because ISKCON spreads by Harinama. We do Harinama Sankirtana and spread. Prabhupada created BBT separately. That also we can understand because Prabhupada revealed 2 times. It was asked to Prabhupada, why are you creating BBT separately? You see amount of planning going on. Prabhupada said, I created it separately because in case you mess up, it's an organization, it's a trust. Government can take it over if you do mess. Just like they said recently, they'll take over the Udupi temple. It can be taken over. Government always has the power to take over anything. The airlines were started by Tata once. It was taken over by government. Previously, Tatas have started. Now they again coming back. So many banks were taken over by government. Government can take over anything, particularly when there is a mess. They get an excuse also, correct? There is a mess, there is a confusion, government can take over. So Prabhupada said, if you create a mess and this movement goes, these books will be there. Therefore, separate trust, separate account. They went to argue with Prabhupada. Why two organizations? Prabhupada says, no. You people are leaders. If you make a mess tomorrow, these books will be there. People can benefit from these books. Even this goes, this stays. So you understand how much sharp thinking is going on. And then next, if you look, then why Prabhupada created BI, Bhaktivinoda Institute? Correct? There is a great meaning in that. Because people in Kali Yuga, when we see complexity in this world, we immediately say God is, because God has created. But the scientists, what they do, they study the complexity. When you study the complexity, we cannot, it is so complicated, you will get lost in it. Prabhupada says, you try to control and enjoy, just like we are saying, no? Unless the tendency of controlling and enjoy the material nature is there, you will get lost in the complexities. Because it is Brahma's creation, you are like an ant. Suppose an ant says, I want to now understand what they have written here, it will be lost, it is beyond the capacity. And it is beyond the capacity to come to the original cause. It's like a science studies immediate cause. We study the remote cause, the final cause, śravaṇa-puṭeṣu. This is the immediate cause. And then we have 25 elements, correct? Now, only thing the science has come to understand is Indriyani paraniyahu, Indriya paramamana, manasassu parabuddha, yo buddha parasya. There are different platform levels, correct? The lowest level is dead matter. That's the only thing they have understood. And they cannot directly jump to spirit, which is a very big jump for them. What is the next thing? Indriyani paraniyahu, the senses. Senses is the next thing. And senses are itself not an ordinary knowledge actually. So the point what I wanted to build is, it will become a different class, that Rasaraj Prabhu is expert on that to speak. But point what I wanted to build was that the people in Kali Yuga are by nature Shudra, Kalo Shudra Sambhavaha. Shudras by definition are not interested in spirit. We discussed this many times. Brahmana are attracted to spirit, Shudra are attracted to matter, and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are hypocrites. They are attracted to both. Correct? So Shudra is attracted only to matter. That is the nature of people of Kali Yuga. If you give them physical comfort, they will worship you. Previously, if you give a Brahmana physical comfort, he is not interested in that. Just like that example is there of the king. When king was distributing golden plates, they threw and walked away. That's what that? There was a king, and it's there, the mountain is there. In Himalayas, a mountain is there, hidden mountain of gold, made of gold. And Lord Shiva revealed to that king, go there, that mountain. So he was very happy, so much gold he could take from that. He was doing huge, that time they was doing huge yagnas for worship of the Lord. And then when the Brahmanas used to come, he used to give them dakshina, gold, so much gold. Gold plates, gold, gold, whatever, gold jewelry and all, take dakshina. The Brahmana, what will he do with it? Throw, and they used to come back, they throw. Imagine the opulence. Imagine the opulence. Who will carry all this load? They threw, today you give, they will take everything. So now next, what happened was, they'll not leave. Nobody is going to throw. Just imagine what kind of Brahman, because they are attracted to spirit, not to matter. He's happy. That same example Prabhupada takes about one king was there, and he went to a Brahmana's place. He came to know that the Brahmana is very poor. So he said that, can I help you in some way? So the king said, I don't need anything. These boys have some Gurukul kind here. These boys go collect some rice, and this plant is there, some leaves we put in it. Very satisfying it is. They were completely plain living, high thinking. Actually, people are living on that platform. Very satisfying. Correct? We can understand this one. The same way these Brahmanas through. So this was the opulence. So today that is not there. People are mad. If you can give them material comfort, they will become mad after you. Some money you can give, people will start worshipping you. These politicians also go to rich people and they worship them. Anything they do. Don't want to name, but so many big rich people are actually worshipped. Before election, they go around all the parties and they worship and they promise them that, we will do this for you, we will do this. They worship them. Like a honeybee, people will be all around you. Once I had gone to meet a rich man, even politicians were waiting outside, ministers. There. That's Kali Yuga. So now that is the nature of people of Kali Yuga. And therefore, previously what used to happen, the devotees, the divine people, the sages, if there is a comfort needed, they used to give. Otherwise, people are previously living only by natural products. Not too much of manipulation of matter. But some comforts are need. Correct? They could manipulate matter just by mantras. Just like in the Mahabharata war, just by mantras, they manipulated matter. I told you, actually the fight in Mahabharata was between the few Maharathis. Other people are more or less irrelevant. Even though they are not there, I was telling you, the kings were important. King was not ordinary actually. Extraordinary people they used to be. Because that is the point, if the king dies, it's over, because other soldiers can't fight. See, Mahabharata war was between these Maharathis. Other people are there, that's okay. But they cannot change the course of the war. They cannot. Not that they fight very valiantly today, they cannot change the course of the war. Because one alone can eliminate all of them. Arjuna, on the day, Jayadatta, some Akshaonis he eliminated. Few lakh soldiers alone he killed. Alone. He cannot do with the arrows, metal arrows one by one. No. He was actually able to manipulate matter because of mantras, which was a science, correct? Dronacharya taught them. So they used to know they can manipulate matter by mantras. Even that person who was there, the father of Prithu. What is the name? Vena. Yeah. By mantra they killed him. By curse they killed him. And by mantras they created a child out of his body by chanting some mantras. So they could manipulate matter by mantras. Now that science is definitely not, it can be revived, but proper Acharya did not want that because we will misuse it. Otherwise he could have given. Sometime Prabhupada said, yeah, it's all there. These all techniques, everything is available, all dormant. But these are all yoga siddhis or mantra manipulation of matter. Yoga siddhis is also nothing but manipulating matter. Those people who came to fight with Krishna, all the Danavas, they were manipulating matter somehow. Aghasura, it is not that he was a king. Bakasura, all these are kings, not that they are birds. You see in the beginning of Krishna book it comes, Kamsa made friends with all these kings, Aghasura, Bakasura, these are all kings actually. But they knew how to manipulate matter and become a huge python. They can do that. Got it or not? Now in previously, so either Danavas or divine people, they knew the skills. But generally the divine people knew the skills. And people, if they want comforts, they can get from them. And 99% people, what they do, they generally only follow. They follow. If you arrange food for them, if you arrange some physical